Oh, hey there. Good evening. What's happening in Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide Land? It's time for another match of our 1v1 multi-category tournament finals. My name is Schwantz27. I'm joined in the booth tonight doing commentary with me by Sigil. Sigil, what is happening?
Not much. I'm excited for this matchup, and I'm glad Gretham could join us again for doing tracking.
Whoop whoop, the real MVP on the ones and twos, Gretham. Thank you so much, Gretham, for pushing all the beepity bops behind the scenes. And what are we going to be racing tonight here, Sigil?
Tonight we're going to have a fun match of Chaos, where we took a sneak peek, where we found out Kefka lock is 2 out of 8 characters, 9 espers, or 6 dragons. And compared to our normal, where it's character gated, our seeds, tonight they're going to be doing open world. Swans, can you explain what open world is?
Yeah, so open world, much to the chagrin of Narves, as we learned last night, we asked him, what do you not want to see in the Chaos race? And he said open world, and of course that's what got rolled. But open world basically means that there are no check restrictions. You can go to any check at any time during the game. So I bet we're going to see a lot of people racing towards the fastest checks, maybe even doing some free checks first, although you don't want to do too many because then the scaling might get out of hand here. Although as Sigil, you'll explain a little later on, I don't know if that'll be a problem necessarily.
I don't think so either. Speaking of racing, we have B-dash movement tonight, where
Zoom,
characters are just going to go zoom like Sonic. We'll start with 2 random characters, and they're rich with 80k gold. We have 1 to 3 Esper starts, and the character stats are 67% of their normal to 133%. And the enemies are going to give 6 times their experience, magic points, and gold. The bosses are there's random bosses, and the statues are shuffled in.
The statues are shuffled amongst themselves. They're not mixed in with the rest of the bosses.
Thank you for the correction.
So the good news is we're not going to have to fight Doom twice like we did in the first match, but we're definitely going to have to fight Doom at some point in this seed.
Yes. Which I don't think he's going to be that much of a problem, since the level scaling is for every character, Esper and Dragon, you either get or defeat, their level goes up by 1. And I don't think they're going to hit the max level of 71 tonight.
No. Something has gone horribly wrong if we get to that. I don't even think you can get to that, right?
No, it's impossible.
No.
Well, the HP and MP scaling is for 2 times for those 3, and the XP and GP is 3 times. The shops are shuffled plus 77% random, and they'll cost between 68% of their normal price to 122%. The chests are randomly tiered, so the chest most likely won't be that good tonight. And the Esper's equipped is balanced.
Yeah,
Can you explain that?
Yeah, so each Esper is able to be equipped by 4 characters, and the amount of Espers each character can have, or the total amount of Espers, is balanced among all of the 12 characters that can equip Espers.
Yeah.
So pretty poor Esper equip rate tonight.
Yes. And the spell cost tonight is 65% to 147%.
Yeah.
So I'm personally hoping that all the spells are on the high end.
Yeah. So we will not have access to Ultima. That's the one thing that I didn't put on the slide there that we sort of mentioned. Given the fact that we're not going to have a lot of good Esper equipability here, I'm going to think that we're going to try and find some cool weapons in shops, because the chests will be trashed. We start out with 80,000 GP, so I'm going shopping this seed. What do you think?
I'm going shopping also. I'm hoping I'll find a nice big stick. And as you see on our screen, if they defeat 25 bosses, they get auto overcast on themselves.
Yeah, if that happens again, something has gone very wrong with this seed. There are a couple of other objectives. There's like there's a ribbon objective if we kill Vargas, and then there's a high tier item or weapon objective if we find Kieran, I think it is, but I don't think that that's going to be an issue. Blitz on Setzer and Sword Tech on Realm. Interesting.
And the other objective is defeat the KT left statue and you unlock Magitech.
Alright, so if we do find a Magitech user, we can immediately go and unlock... Well, not immediately. We'll unlock it at the end of the game here. And it looks like both of our runners taking off in different directions towards a couple of free checks here with some shops. So we'll see what this is. That is another Magicite. And taking a look at Narv's auto tracker here, we started with 2 Espers. So that is his third Esper, actually. So we'll put those up on the board there.
Yes. And we see Palador has Pearl. Hopefully someone could equip it. Let's go with magic.
Alright, and that is Carbuncle there at the... Oh, that's a Strength +2 on Carbuncle. Only Setzer can use it. And Narves is just heading right into Imperial Camp straight away.
Yes.
Wow. Wasting no time here.
Yes. And put to use the B-dash, which I forget when it's on.
Yes, using B-dash is very, very important there. Is that my cursor on the screen? No, thank goodness. Okay. So hopefully I fixed the no game audio problem that we were having with the last stream. I forgot to turn some setting on my OBS.
Yes, which we have Judge Joe go into the camp basement on his way to the sealed gate.
Yeah, so a couple of Imperial strongholds here for our runners. So Sigil, when you have an open world seed, besides getting analysis paralysis, what do you do with your life here?
I probably would just go to like South Figaro, do that free check, do the throne, and check some shops to see if I could find a big stick or some rods.
Yeah, I think I'm looking for dried meat in shops, so I could do the Velt check for a guaranteed character or Esper, and then jumping through the Serpent Trench. And speaking of discounts at the Figaro Castle, let's go.
And don't forget World of Ruin South Figaro discount.
Yeah, so that's going to be a huge pickup here for Narves. Although we have a ton of Skrilla from our opening route. We are going to be even more hood rich now because we're not going to be spending cash on those items there. I haven't really seen anything great that Judge Joe has pulled out of the sealed gate run, so we'll see if this pays off for him here.
Yes, our runners also started with 7 warp stones tonight.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Gauntlet will be pretty good if we find one of those big sticks that we mentioned. Yeah, so we kind of wish that we had Sword Tech on Strago and Blitz on Realm, but we can't pick our characters' abilities. Also worth noting that our abilities are set to random and not random unique. So we might have characters with duplicate abilities, which is kind of different than we normally see in Worlds Collide. And Narves, after 2 fights, is already at level 11. So we're not going to be hurting for XP here in this seed.
Which Judge Joe just picked up Alexander from the sealed gate.
Unfortunately, Realm cannot equip Alexander, but can equip, I think, one of the other Espers that we started with there. So at least Realm will be able to learn some spells here.
Yes.
So yeah, open world seeds are very interesting. Again, you have a couple of options available to you. If you would like to do checks with grind fights in them instead of bosses, we've got Imperial Camp, we've got Serpent Trench, we've got pulling down on the lever at the Sealed Gate Cave, we've got Owser's Mansion, right? That has some grind fights ahead of a boss that you could have a save point around. Oh boy, that is dirt cheap to Zen Thief. There we go. All right, so with a Chaos Seed, you normally have to do 2 of 3 random objectives here. And in this case, we have 8 characters, 9 espers, and 6 dragons. So, Sigil, what would kind of be your strategy here to favor? Would you favor the dragon checks here and then see what other of the character espers fall out of it? Or do you want to guarantee yourself at least getting, you know, some extra characters to populate your parties for Kefka's Tower?
I probably would try to route in the dragons. Because if I could get, just say, like Judge Joe's case, he's already at 5 espers. You could route in Kefka, World of Ruin Nosh, along with Mount Zozo.
Yeah, so World of Ruin Nosh, we could do Tritalk and Yeti Spot. We could also do, you know, Mount Zozo gives us that reward up there too, right?
Yep.
Oh, Dragonhorn, hello. And speaking of dragons, this is a really nice XP fight. Even if the XP wasn't cranked all the way up like it is, this is a huge XP fight there. Ice shields for sale. There we go. Unfortunately, the sellback rate is only 1/4 instead of the quote-unquote standard half. But we've got so much good stuff here that we can definitely sell it back. And Judge Joe bought a cat hood for his party as well. So he's going to get that GP back right away here. So one of the other interesting things here that I just sort of thought of is I would try and tend to save my peekable checks for the end and just do the checks like, South Figaro Cave. Oh, Fixed Dice and Atma Weapon in that shop there. So we're definitely going back to that one. Because we are going to have more than enough XP for that Atma Weapon there. And equipable items is slightly higher tonight. I think it's original plus 70-something%, right? So chances are that people are going to be able to equip those things.
Yes.
But yeah, so peekable checks I would kind of save for later. I would do things like what Narves is doing here. Let's do Barren Falls. And there's Gao. A sketch steel Gao. The dream. Oh, but he can equip some espers. Are they good ones, though? No, they are not. Yeah, so Gao is probably going to get replaced out of the party at some point. Yeah, so things like South Figaro Cave, Barren Falls, really fast checks that you can do that you can't really peek.
Yeah. But with Realm No and Sword Tech, I might not really have her learn spells and just rely on Sword Tech 6.
That is true. We're going to get Sword Tech 6 before long because Narves is already up to 800 HP on his characters, which means he's got to be... He's got to be almost level 20 now.
I think he's 22.
Jeez Louise. One check in and we're at level 22.
Yeah.
So, what's funny is... Oh, there's the dried meat. So, that means we're probably going to go do that Velt check there for Judge Joe. So this is kind of the opposite of the strategies we saw last night, as Edgar has natural magic? Oh no, Realm has natural magic, and Trey Fuego. Let's go. Yeah, this is the opposite of what we saw last night, right? Last night we saw Narves doing more looting and shopping, and Judge Joe just said, hey, I'm just going to go. Whereas this time around, we see Judge Joe doing a little bit more looting and shopping here. And he will be rewarded with this set of fixed dice here and the Atma Weapon. He's not even close to being able to afford either one of those, though. Oh, cheap ice rods. I didn't even see that either. Okay. Yeah. That is a clutch shop there at World of Balance, South Figaro. I
wonder if Narves is going to check it.
You have to figure at some point you're going to go there, right? Because of all the loot and the check that you've got there.
But he could just go World of Ruined and hit the half-off shops instead.
And it's Sword Tech Shadow.
Yeah.
I thought Narves went to
Narves never did. No, Narves didn't.
He did a free check early on. Which was it?
He did Gao's house.
Oh, they both did.
did.
Gao. Okay, I thought one went to Kolingen and one went to Gao's house. Okay, thank you, Gretham, for. I'm crisscrossed, so all crossed up here. I didn't quite see what the reward was at the bottom of Barren Falls, but based on Narv's tracker, it doesn't look like that was an Esper.
Nah.
It looks like it might have been a Valiant Knife, though.
Yes. They just need offering now.
All right, so that's an interesting thing. Are you going to try and go for Monster in a Boxes then? That is a awful set of choices there at the March Weapon Shop.
If Monsters and Boxes are on my way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, are you now going to go do Ancient Castle because there's 2 Monster in a Boxes there, right? Like stuff like that.
With this type of seed, I probably would check Coliseum first.
Okay. Alright, it looks like Judge Joe is going to go ahead and do the Velt check like I thought we were going to get before. Crusader from Doma Siege there. Ooh, that also has Tre Fuego on it. Unfortunately, nobody can use it. And an HP plus 100 bonus. That would be awesome for Edgar.
Yeah.
So this is actually matchup number 3, technically. The first match was given to Judge Joe for being our winner's bracket champion. And yesterday, in case you missed it, we did a draft seed. Go back and watch it in case you haven't seen it. But Narves took it from Judge Joe, so he took that game. And we're now all evened up at 1-1, which means we are definitely going to get a Game 4 on Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So I know it's a bit premature to be plugging the next match, but there you go.
I'm personally hoping this goes to all 5 games.
Yeah, that would be exciting. What is not exciting is having to go up against Chatternook here. Oh, we have Fire 3. This is fine.
Yes.
We have Fire 3 and we have Aura Bolt. We're good.
And you have a VK.
Yeah. All right. And hello. There's a Terra there at the Velt check. So Judge Joe is running up the score a la the New England Patriots back in the day. He's got 5 characters and 5 Espers before he's even off of level 3. So let's see if this strategy pays out for him. That's a Sword Tech Terra as well. Sword Tech everywhere in the seed.
Oh.
Yeah, that Strength plus 2 Esper is now burning a hole in the pocket there.
Yes.
Oh, and Terra's stats are pretty trash.
Oh no, Edgar has Tempest.
Oh, is that what that is? Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, Terra's stats are actually trash. She's in like the high 20s for her magic power and strength, which is pretty bad. But I still think she gets in over Gao. Gao's maybe not.
That's interesting.
All right, Genji Shield there for Narves. So that's the thing with open world seeds is you're going to run into dead checks way more often than you think you are. Because there is no quote-unquote path through the seed, right? There's no game logic to it.
Yeah.
The game just vomits up rewards wherever it wants to go. Alright, so now we have Narves here going to get his choice between the Economizer or the Mario hat. He hasn't found earrings yet, has he? So he might actually pick the Economizer here. The curse shield count, I believe, is pretty high, so I don't. Think we're gonna see that.
22. It's 22 to I think like 31.
Okay, yeah, we're not seeing the curse shield, but we have the good old gem box Economizer, vanilla strategy here coming from Narves. That is going to make some of these fights incredibly slow, just from a casting animation perspective. However. We are at he has such high levels, it's ridiculous.
Yes. And Judge Joe using one of his ice rods.
Narves chasing this ice dragon around. Come back here. Yeah, so that was Joe's strategy: is run up the score as high as I can, and then just use my ice rods to get past the first couple of fights, and we're good to go. 11,000 GP from that fight. We can go buy like 5 more ice rods. Yeah, level 11 after one fight there.
I know. As Greta said in chat, he sees the freeze luck is as good as last night.
That's an interesting item there, that Aura Lance. I know that I believe Joe already sold the Dragoon boots, but...
no, I thought he picked up a horn.
Alright, we'll have to see. Because Narves did put the Aura Lance on Edgar, and it looks like our characters are not wearing any clothes. So, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to restrict this stream.
Yes.
Monetization disabled.
Hey, Three Stooges.
Yeah, this will be an interesting fight because we have fire but not ice magic, right?
Yes. I'm personally hoping that the blue one is the last one left, so they might fly away.
Yeah, so Larry can actually run away, which is fun when you don't really have anything else to kill him with. Although we've got Fire 3, so Larry's not going to last very long anyway.
Nah. I agree, Greta.
Uh-oh. Out comes the Delta hit there, which is not what you want to see. So the interesting thing, Sigil, is that Narves is way behind in terms of progression, but he's way ahead in terms of levels. So where would you rather be? Would you rather be in Judge Joe's shoes, having, a full team of characters, or would you rather have the levels?
That's a tough one, because with this seed, you can make up the levels very quickly.
Another Aura Lance there at the top of Narsh. Q exhibit, yo dog. Ooh, Narves is warping out. He must not, yeah, he doesn't have any softs. That's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because remember, we could have hopped down to grab that Yeti spot. Alright, so Narves is pulling on the Search the Sky lever. That is Edgar there for Judge Joe. And that is character number 6 already. So Joe can go into Kefka's Tower now if they want, with at least having a Moogle Charm body for 2 of their parties. Alright, following in the same footsteps here of doing the fast checks, we're gonna go do Barren Falls here.
And while on North side, we have a Flying Atma tonight.
Oof. Yeah, he was one of our Kefka Tower bosses from last night. If you haven't seen the Kefka Tower portion of last night's race, it is the stuff of nightmares.
Yes.
I won't explain any further than that. You've got to go watch it. That's like
I still have I'm still having nightmares from that.
Yeah, it was bad. Alright, so let's see what the reward is from Search the Sky. It's another dead check. So yeah, open world tends to do this sometimes to you.
Oh hey, it's a Minerva at least.
Yeah, with the higher equip rate, we're hoping that maybe Realm can wear it, because she could always use the boost to the magic stat. And there we go.
Yeah.
Alright, so it looks like Narves is going to go ahead and chase dragons like your strategy that you mentioned there. Go chase the dragons and see what falls out. Because the problem with chasing the dragons in this seed is we need 6 of them. And honestly, 5 of them are pretty easy to get to. The Fanatics Tower one is kind of a chore. The Phoenix Cave one is kind of a chore. And of course, the Ancient Castle one is behind another check. So
Yes.
you have to make the decision to go after them, especially in an open world seed where you know that this is a speed run and you know that there are so many much faster checks. But this makes sense. This is a very, very quick check, especially with B-Dash. I mean, that's the other thing, right? Does having B-Dash make going all the way down to the Ancient Castle less painful?
Yes and no.
More likely to bonk, right?
Yes.
All right, so Joe is going to get their Crusader there from Dome of Siege.
Which that'll bring him to 6 and 6.
And that is Dragon number 2 down for Narves.
And he's already at level 35 with Shadow.
$40-41 is what Narves is. You said that Judge Joe's already at 45? 30?
No, 35.
35?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're right. Joe caught up rather quickly.
And with him having that many sword techs and knowing where Atma weapon is, along with the fixed dice.
Yeah, Sword Tech 6 is great because it actually does not split damage if you have more than one target on the screen, like we will see for the Stooges fight that's coming up here. However, it also is an AoE attack, right? And if you want to kill things in a certain order, like on the final boss, let's say, that could present itself with a problem. Or even Stooges, right? You want to kill Stooges in a certain order. Alright, so Narves does find an Esper at the end of Mount Zozo, but nobody can use it. Are we doing Fanatics? We're doing Fanatics here.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think Narves is just going to carry Realm into wherever the situation goes.
Yes.
So should we commentate or curse this sigil? Let's do it. If the Red Dragon is here in Fanatics Tower, I think that's going to be a problem.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens. That was not a character at the bottom, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm sort of hoping if he goes all the way on top, it's Magimaster.
Oh, Vanilla Magimaster? Stop
Yes.
that. Listen, I was trying to be like Mimi. You're just being cruel.
How about Poltergeist? No, it can't be.
Grethen says Flame Eater and Red Dragon. You guys.
Yes.
Alright. We can actually kill this one, so we'll be okay here.
They are nuts.
Float Quake for Edgar. Let's see it. Come on, Narves. There's Float, and there's Quake. Put 2 and 2 together for me, please. That's like one of my favorite strategies to use, and I've only ever used it like 3 or 4 times.
I never got a chance to use it.
It won't work on dragons, but it is pretty neat. Joe making very quick work of these Stooges here. So the thing about taking all that free progression up front, Sigil, is that your bosses will drop you more XP when you kill them, too.
Yes. Which is why I was iffy about your question earlier.
Alright, so Joe is also not going to do Umaro's check. That seems odd to me. And maybe this is just the muscle memory of not forgetting about open world, right? Because normally you're like, oh, I don't have Umaro, I can't do this, right?
Right.
Alright, we're going to see what is going to be awaiting for Narves here at the top of Fanatics Tower. We know that there's going to be an Esper at the bottom of it, at least. And he has not bought the Zen Thief Esper yet, either. So, that's a real cheap one that he can get away with. Okay, easy fight.
You failed me, game.
And all of Realm's magics are now X magics because of Gembox. Which I guess works in this fight, right? Because then more piranhas will pop up, and then we'll just, set the rest of them on fire.
Yeah. No, because you're not targeting the other set.
Oh, yeah.
So only do one.
Yeah. So it looks like Shadow can also use the Fire 3 Esper, so... We at least have a couple of decent options here.
Yes. At least when Narves gets another character, they'll be really high level.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So the fun thing is that if we didn't find that economizer, which Joe didn't pick up, Realm has Sword Tech, and Sword Tech 5 will restore both HP and MP. So if you ever are in a situation where, not in this seed because we can't learn Ultima, but if you have the 254 MP Ultima seed and you have a decent magic caster as your Sword Tech user, you could use Sword Tech 5 to replenish your MP after casting Ultima. Right? It's a good way to combo those two things together. Alright, Esper for Joe, Esper for Narves at the bottom here, and Joe still has a pretty commanding lead in terms of progression. Is a little bit behind on levels now, but as you said, Sigil, that the level catch-up is fine here. We're still way overpowered for whatever boss we might run into.
Yeah.
Except, ironically, if they're Flame Eater or or Inferno, right? Those could be problems for our team now. Although that's a Bolt 3 that Gao can use. So, all right, we laughed at the sketch Steel Gao, but he's coming through, paying dividends right now.
That Gao has 5,700 HP.
That is. Can we get an ooh-wow in the chat? Alright, so here comes Dragon number 3 for Joe. This one we haven't seen yet. And it's Shoat at the bottom of Fanatic's Tower.
When this be Dragon number 4 for Joe?
No, he only did Marsh and Mount Zozo.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, he didn't do Fanatics.
That's correct. And actually, Joe's levels are exactly the same as Narves is now, so that level advantage is no more. However, Narves has all of these free checks that he can just go do, right? So
yes,
that's the thing, is that Joe, not that he's out of free checks, there are still some like hanging around, but he's going to have to do longer checks, whereas Narves can just pick up a bunch of free checks towards the end of the seed. Fire shield there from the Skulldurgan. And it looks like both of our runners deciding on the Fanatic's Tower Dragon as their longer dragon option, right? We discussed that earlier.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pick one of those longer options. And I guess it makes sense. Out of all of them, this might actually be the shortest check.
And
it's going to be close with Phoenix Cave.
But you know it's guaranteed progression.
That's true. You're absolutely right.
So that's the reason why I'll put it above the rest.
So Narves is going to get an Esper here from this Velt Cave check, as we saw the stone on the ground. Yeah. Joe is going to get an Esper from the bottom of Fanatic's Tower here. The question is, when is Narves going to get his 4th character?
Yeah.
And would you be worried, Sigil, if you ended up with 9 Espers and 6 Dragons and you only had 3 characters?
Yes. Because Poltergeist could stop you, while Doom could just freeze you.
That's true, and that's it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's worth having some meat shields inside of KT. So we'll see what Narves' next plan is here. finally heading into a shop. This might be the second shop he's seen all season. Boom! There's an offering.
And some earrings.
If only he knew where to go buy Atma weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, he's thinking about the offering. So if you do want to catch the first game, or I guess second game, I don't know, it's confusing. If you want to catch the previous match, how about that?
Yes.
It's on our YouTube, so youtube.com/FF6 Worlds Collide. Actually, I don't even know if that's the right thing, but FF6 Worlds Collide is what our channel name is on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, you can watch us stream these events live, and you can interact with the chat and talk about how nuts the levels are and things like that.
Yes.
As some of our viewers are salivating over the big numbers that we're seeing here.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/FF6 Worlds Collide. And, I thought Narves was going to be going to Zen, and he's not. He's going to Magitech Factory. This is a bit of an interesting play here, Sigil. I think Narves might be resignated to the fact that he's only going to get 3 characters.
Yeah. Like I said before, 2 out of the 3 lanes would scare me with that.
Gretham pointed out in chat that Joe is basically going to be 1 Esper from Go mode after this trip down Fnatic's tower, because he'll grab the 2 dragons in Kefka's tower. So he's technically not in Go mode, but he essentially is, right? He'll be in, I'm going into Kefka's tower and I'm not coming out.
I could see Joe going to Magitech after this. Or doing South Figaro Cave.
Yeah, I think you're going to want to do a peekable check.
Yes. So in that case, it would be Figaro Cast, the Figaro Throne Room.
Or Velt Cave, right? We could peek Velt Cave from here.
Yes. Which we already know is the Esper.
1 bolt 3, and down goes that blue Durgan.
Yes. I'm still amazed at that gal's HP.
Yeah, Gao has been eating a lot of jerky. He's a beefy boy. Yeah, unfortunately, Narves just has the carry realm at the moment. I'd have to imagine that he's going to go unlock Bum Rush. I probably would have done it already. So, yeah, so in this particular match, Fantastodon, it's 2 of those 3 goals. So it's 8 characters, 9 Espers, 6 dragons, and you need 2 of the 3 of them. So you don't need all 3. And there is Siren, and Setzer can actually equip it, but so can Realm. So that'll be really nice for our final boss. And that's Shout there for Joe. And here's Tunnel Armor for Narves. Yeah, Narves has gotta find a big stick here.
Yeah.
Casual 0 damage from Tunnel Armor. Oh, hi there, Edgar. Getting a critical hit. And Judge Joe is going to start to run into some of these dead checks that Narves ran into here with the Search the Skies spot. We'll see what other checks that they decide to do. Alright, so that is Esper number 9 there with Phantom for Narves. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody can use it. No. And we're out.
Oh, yeah. And also, the tier 3 would scare me with just 3 characters.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
A double calmness brings you down to 1 for final cap for the tier 4.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We don't have access to easy calmness protection, right? Because even if we had Golem and Fenrir, or if we just got Phantom, right? We can't use it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Alright, so let's see what Joe decides to do here. He's going to go back and stack up on some of those ice rods. Yeah, it's just a little unfortunate for... Ooh, Atma Weapon. Oh my goodness. Only Realm and Gao can use it. And the other two characters that were benched. So, yeah.
Yes.
Stack up on ice rods, and there we go. Yeah, so where did Joe find some of these characters? I know that Shadow was at Kolingen.
Terra was Velt with the meat.
Yep. Okay.
Gao was I believe South Figaro basement.
Okay. So if Norvs decides to do some of these free checks, he can go and find some of these characters. It's just a matter of, is he going to want to do that, right?
Yeah.
We are going to get bum rushed now. So this is about a minute and 10-second or so cutscene. So I like to get bum rush as soon as I possibly can, because this is a time investment into getting this right on your character. So the longer that you have access to bum rush throughout the rest of the seed, the better off and the more time you'll save. All right, so it looks like we're going to get a Boots and Horn purchase here. Joe's selling his warp stones. He is not worried about what's lurking in Kefka's tower. I know that we do have statue bosses inside of Kefka's tower. However, we have levels. Way more levels than the statues do. At level 55, you should be able to kill basically anything.
And Realm's going jump strats with the Atma weapon.
I hate that, but
yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta do what the game gives you, right? And that's what the game gave us. If Setzer didn't have Blitz, I would consider Boots Horn fixed dice over that, but also fixed dice are kind of messy too. Alright, so let's see what Norvs decides to do after grabbing Bum Rush there. We're only 37 minutes into the seed. This has been an incredibly fast seed, in spite of the fact that it was open world, and I think it is all to do with the experience gain that we saw here.
Those cheap Super Balls.
It's way too late to use them now.
I know. Almost 7,400 HP on Gao. And Shadow at 67.
I wonder what Narves is looking for here. Is he's just going to item shops? Alright, Realm. I stand corrected. Maybe the Atma Weapon Boots Horn thing is a good thing.
Yeah. It gives him a way to break the damage cap.
Yeah. The Atma Weapon just doesn't give you the same jump bonus that the other weapons do.
But at this level, you really don't need it.
Alright, so Joe running into some dead checks here. That's a Genji shield. I wonder what he's looking for. Oh, he still needs another Esper. Duh.
I'm surprised he didn't go to Cave on the Veldt.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have done it, it would have been after he finished up Fanatics, right? You're pretty close at that point. And here we go. Narves is our first runner in the tower. So, does Narves have enough juice to beat out Judge Joe here? That's really what we're going to be looking for.
So what bosses are you hoping in tower tonight?
Well,
besides the statues.
Yeah, we know that our statues are shuffled. I'm worried about Edgar, because I don't know if he's got a lane solver. You know what I mean? Like, if we run into something real bad. Setzer, please stop healing the boss. So I'm worried about that lane for Narves here. But if he's in the all the way left-hand lane, then he's only got to deal with the statue boss, and maybe Edgar has enough stuff to kill the statue boss, right?
Yeah. Hopefully the statue boss isn't Goddess.
Alright, I did not see what that was for Joe.
Yeah.
Must have been a Valiant Knife.
Yep.
Alright, so now we have a Valiant Knife for Setzer. And we got Dirt Dragon for Narves here. Yeah, so this is what Narves needs. He needs Joe to run into a couple of dead checks here.
Joe?
Yeah. I'm not sure what this is here. Maybe he's just going to go kill the dragons now?
Did he miscount in his head?
Well, his tracker says 8 espers, but I don't know if he does auto-tracking or not, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
As that is dragon number 5 for Narves, and he spikes an offering, but he does not have an Atma weapon.
Or VK.
Or a Valiant Knife, or a Fixed Dice.
Yes.
Alright, so let's see what is at this Inferno spot here.
Oh, it's only number 128. And that level 3 Terra just wanted to take a dirt nap. Oops.
Yep. Wow,
Yeah.
That was just barely enough damage. Yeah, so I guess there is like a delay on the stream link from the actual Twitch. I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize. I don't know what's going on with stream link. It's been weird for me lately. I can't actually get Narves' video to play through stream link. I got to do it through window capture on Twitch, which is horrible. Because then you could see like these random things if I accidentally go over it, right? Oh, so Gretham with an interesting point in the chat. That maybe the Valiant Knife was from getting Kieran, right? Because I think Kieran was high tier item.
Yes.
So maybe
yes, it was.
Maybe Joe does have 9 espers after all. He just has 8 on his tracker, which makes things confusing for us.
But like Gretham says, if he manually tracks, then he won't put it on there to maybe save a little time.
Yeah.
That poor white dragon.
Yeah, is not going to know what hits him. All right. 2 quick little swings from Realm, and that's that. 2 quick little Tre Fuegos from Realm, and White Dragon is sticking around. So I think it's safe to say that Joe pulls into the lead here. Getting his 5th dragon down. Actually, technically not, because Narves will be in go mode after this White Dragon, and Joe still technically has to kill the middle dragon here. So never mind. I forgot that we've got an extra. And that's the final Kefka unlock for Narves. First one to do it at 4405.
I'm thinking that middle lane offering, it's just going to go to Setzer.
Oh, for Joe, for sure, because of the Valiant Knife. Yes, oh yes.
Because with the muscle belt, he's at almost 7.5k HP.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so really it comes down to... I don't know. Narves is still in the lead, so he has to build up enough of a lead to be okay with being down one character to Joe in the final fight.
But it also comes down to the statue bosses, which one's where for Narves.
Yeah, I'm assuming everything's going to go well with the statue bosses, because
Yeah.
they can go badly for either one, but I think both players have such high levels that it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Alright, Edgar also hits the dirt from the Dirt Dragon. And Gretham pointing out that is 32 ice rods. So, how many ice rods do you think that Judge Joe is going to end up with by the end of the seed in his inventory still? I'm going to say 17, and that's being generous.
26.
26. Yeah, so Joe now has Setzer online with that offering, so the sun is setting on Narves' run here. He has to blast through this Tyrannosaur Marshal fight a little faster here, and hopefully this other Tre Fuego will do it for him. So Tyrannosaurs actually are weak to ice. So if this was Ice 3, then these two would be dead already.
Yes.
It's just a bit unfortunate. I'm just worried about Edgar. What the heck is Edgar going to do?
Yes. And like Greta pointed out, or ice rods.
Yeah, so hopefully Joe will start using some of his ice rods on that fight there. And here we go. Middle boss is Doom. So while we are waiting to see what happens with the rest of Kefka's Tower, make sure you give our runners a follow there. Narves_4 on Twitch and Judge Joe 00 over on Twitch as well. They are putting on the show.
Yeah.
Sigil and I are just yakking, and Gretham is pushing all the beepity bops.
So we could do our work.
Alright, so here's phase 2 of Doom. That Fire 3 spam is not going to work here anymore on this phase.
But he has Sword Attack 6.
Yeah, sets are doing... doing what? 26,000 damage? Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no. Oh no! It's a
no.
travesty! Judge Joe with a reset at the Guardian spot! Oh my goodness. That is the opportunity that Narves needs in order to take advantage here. By the way, that Sortech 7 realm doing 12,000 damage a turn.
Yes.
Oh, how far back did Joe go? He went all the way back here. Oh no. So he's down 2 dragons again from what we had before. So he's back down to 4. That is a costly. See, we were worried about Narves' RNG with the boss fights, but so far Joe has had the worst RNG. We'll see what happens here for Narves. Because that is first boss down for them. So who do you think is fighting Goddess? Is it going to be Edgar or is it going to be
Edgar?
Setzer? Edgar
It's
is fighting
Edgar.
Goddess? Yeah, that would be not ideal.
At that point, I might just put the offering on Edgar and just hope for the best.
What are you offering Orlance? Ugh. I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit there.
But just to, I know, but just to get around the love token.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. Edgar is slowly walking to contemplate. Oh, there we go. Now he turned on the jets. Oh boy. What are we gonna do here? Alright, so we do have a fire shield. Oh, and we have bio. Oh. Okay. Oh, this is going to take a while. I don't know how much... Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I don't like that.
No.
Oh boy. Well, let's hope that Poltergeist counters with a what is it called? Flare Star?
Burden.
Because Flare Star does fire elemental damage, and it also does damage based on your level, and unfortunately that's going to be a reset there. That's a bit, again, as you mentioned, Sigil, having one character does not allow Launcher to spread out its damage amongst multiple targets, so... A couple of unlucky RNG there for Narves. But he still has a little bit of a lead here. And he knows that this is Poltergeist, so he can go into this knowing some stuff. Unfortunately, our little float Quake strat is not going to work against this boss either. And here's the stop. Yep.
Yeah.
Do we have a wall ring? I think he actually has Carbuncle equipped, which is wild, because that's what you need to cast Whole Party Reflect. Yeah, so this is going to be the roadblock here for Narves. We'll see if they decide to do the goddess fight first. Yeah.
And that way you save right outside of Poltergeist.
Yeah, so I think 1 or 2 bum rushes and that fight is over with Goddess.
Yeah.
Alright, so that is KT unlock complete again for Judge Joe. Yeah, so the problem with Poltergeist is he will do stop randomly until he gets to be about half HP. So we got to chew through a bunch of HP, and then we could be pretty well safe guarded against stop. I'm pretty sure that's how the script works. If I'm mistaken, then somebody in the chat will let us know.
Yeah.
Alright, so Poltergeist is actually weak to bio, but Edgar's magic power is leaves something to be desired here, as we can see. The good thing about having 3 characters, though, Sigil, is that this boss is going to be significantly easier than Judge Joe's Poltergeist by 3 levels. So, never mind, actually.
Oh, no!
It's not really going to be all that much better.
No, and plus, he has to jump around with the Atma weapon.
Yeah, this is not going to be a problem here for Joe. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, so normally we don't use haste a lot in Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. To me, it's just a waste of a turn, really. Because most boss fights are over with so fast that the benefit of haste doesn't matter. But in this case, we definitely want to have it. The more
it looks
turns...
like... It looks like Atma weapon does get a bonus. No, wait, never mind. It's using the offering.
Yeah, so the offering will cut the damage in half. Well,
yes.
So...
It's past my bedtime.
It is also past Poltergeist's bedtime for Judge Joe, so... Taking out the spicy one himself. Alright, so Narves here, with the haste strategy, is going to keep going here through this this Poltergeist fight. Oh, come on.
Oh yeah, he's probably gonna want to put it on Setzer. The offering.
Yeah, Joe eventually is going to want to make our Valiant Knife offering user and then leave Realm with the jump and Atma weapon. Alright, so here comes the goddess fight for Joe. And... oh boy. Oh, this is making me so nervous, Sigil. I don't like this.
No.
I'm not even running, and I paid for the whole seat, but all I need is the edge tonight, folks.
Yes.
Alright, so here comes the Ice Rod spam. This makes sense against Goddess. She has incredibly high magic defense, but Rods famously ignore that magic defense. So even though it's just an Ice Rod, you see it doing incredible amounts of damage here. And there we go. That is Goddess down. So all of a sudden, Sigil, we have 2 bosses down for Narves, and now we have 2 bosses down for Joe. So Joe is kind of caught back up here just due to the nature of a much better Poltergeist fight.
Yeah. And a much stronger offense.
Yeah. Normally, when a move like that comes out, I'm very worried, but between Edgar's HP and the fact that Poltergeist is at such low level, it doesn't really matter here.
Can we appreciate that the level, at least Judge Joe's levels, is in the 60s?
Well, we're not getting Sword Tech 8 naturally, but we're close.
No.
And Poltergeist is down for Narves. Here we go. And Judge Joe gets the rematch of a lifetime. The thing that set him back so much. Alright. Taking out the Tyrannosaurus first. Good idea, Setzer. Ruh-roh. Okay. Normally that move hurts a lot more. But
yeah,
our levels are pretty high. And their levels are pretty low, so... That's another boss down there for Joe. And here we go. We just now have 1 boss apiece. It's Doom against the Valiant Knife offering person, and then it is Goddess against our Bum Rush user.
I feel bad for Doom.
Well, listen, Joe earns this after what happened last night.
Yeah.
This is a dish served cold right here. Alright, so that's Doom down. And Joe is doing what? 30,000 damage a turn? Yeah, it's going to be very hard for Narves to pull this out here.
And that's just from sets alone.
However, Narves has Siren and Judge Joe does not. So that'll make Tier 2 very spicy and very interesting. And as you mentioned, Sigil, neither one of our runners have Calmness Protection. So Final Kefka can still do anything. It is still anybody's race.
But in Joe's case, before I take out Sleep, I might have Realm in the air.
Yeah, that might be a good way to prevent Calmness. I know that Narves equipped Edgar with Palador, which is also another really bad Calmness protection.
Yeah, but also you're going to be hit by counter each hit.
Yeah. It's not very good Calmness protection.
No.
It's actually probably worse than just doing nothing at all. Alright, so our runners are maybe, what, like 30 seconds apart here?
Yes. So, Swans, how long do you think our runners are going to take with Final Kefka?
Well, I underestimated the power of Kefka last night, so I'm going to say 8:13.
7:15 for me for Judge Joe.
Alright.
What about everyone in the chat?
Raiden Summon coming out on tier number 1, and that is going to be a hit here for for Joe. And there we go. Keep using those ice rods. Get me down to 17. Let's go. The face is weak to fire, but again, not every one of our characters knows the fire spell. So it's also important to note that Joe's stream is slightly delayed, so he's actually further along than he is on the screen right now. In case this comes down to like a flash finish at the final second.
And Joe's already done with tier 1, and here comes tier 2.
Yeah, this is going to be where it takes Joe a little bit longer of a time than it will for Narves.
I don't know that much longer, though.
Yeah, it depends on how trolly Magic wants to be. If he starts casting a bunch of like long spells and muddles and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So the fun thing about Imp is that if you have a Valiant Knife, it doesn't matter.
No.
So that's the worst possible target that Magic could have picked. Oh, I thought we were going to get Troll Magic there for a second. Alright, so Sword Tech 6 has a chance to cast Stop on everything. And the blue guy hit is actually susceptible to Stop. Now, normally it doesn't matter. But it's just something interesting to keep in mind here. Excuse me, as Pero que Nariz coming in with the hot sub. Thank you so much. Alright, moment of truth here is 10 hits. And that tier 2 that I thought was going to be a problem, not a problem.
No.
Oh boy.
I feel Nav wins is just with style points alone.
Whew. Okay. I was very worried about Setzer there. So the thing about Imps is that, yeah, you,
They take a lot more damage if they're not wearing
the Valiant Knife damage output is not unchanged, but your the amount of damage you get hit with is pretty bad.
Yes.
Alright, so, oh. You know what I just noticed?
What?
So if you have the gem box equipped, this is why you never equip the gem box, by the way. If you have the gem box equipped, you actually cannot summon Espers, which means that Realm cannot summon Siren. So the advantage that was had by Narves is negated by the usage of the gem box there. Alright, and here comes the moment of truth for Judge Joe. We know that we're going to get up to 2 calmnesses. Here's the first one. Yo! Yo! Setzer with the imp block! Let's go! Oh my goodness, Setzer. Wow.
Setzer was just telling Sleep, I'm going to kill Kefka myself.
Fantastodon with the pun of the night. That was impressive. I will take no credit for that. Alright, so there is one thing standing between Judge Joe and victory, and it is the Mad Clown himself here.
Which he's not long for this world.
You know what else is interesting is Setzer is doing that kind of damage, and he's in the back row. If he's in the front row, he would be doing quad 9s every swing. Alright, out comes Hyperdrive. That means that Kefka's under 30k HP, and Shadow just shrugs it off like it is nothing. And this is going to be it here very shortly for Judge Joe. So get your GGs in chat for him, as he is going to win this race. 1:04:08 is the final time. So GG's Judge Joe, clawing back another game, and he will be in control for Thursday night's race. If he wins that, Match, he wins the tournament.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is what I thought might have happened to Joe without being able to mute Magic. Is Magic just going nuts here against Narves?
Yeah, but Joe had power overwhelming.
And speaking of power overwhelming and Judge Joe, we are joined by Judge Joe in the booth. GG's, Joe.
GG's.
Thank you. The seed sure tried to go and make me lose.
Yeah,
Chris
I know.
was not happy.
Yeah. Joe, can you walk us through your thought process at the beginning of the seed, knowing it's an open world?
Scale the XP. Yes, it's super XP, but what's better than super XP? Ultra mega XP. Find a couple rods and you'll get through the first fight, then everything will implode to rods, and, well, you're getting large amounts of money and XP, and, well, let's just say at 1x CD, they're not gonna hurt very hard.
No. Yeah, at one point, you were still level 3, while Narves was like 28.
I finished Imperial Camp level 30-something.
Yes.
You came roaring back with a vengeance there. So, Gretham, our tracker, just said that your Kefka fight, Joe, was 5 minutes and 3 seconds. That might be the fastest Kefka fight I've ever seen.
Well, if you're not trying to do fancy stuff and just pushing damage, that's how it works.
Even an imp Setzer, who got the clutch double columnus block, could not be stopped there. Can you do me a quick favor? Can you reset and show me... Oh, no, we can't tell. Do you happen to know how many ice rods you had at the end of that fight? We were having a bet going on in the stream.
Like 20-something.
Damn it. I said 17, that you were going to end up with 17.
I had over 20.
Okay. Because you bought 32, and I'm like, there's no way he's going to use 32. But if he gets to 17, I'll be impressed. But you didn't even have to, because Setzer was just a maniac there. Obviously, the only roadblock in your entire seed, I think, was the unfortunate insta-death kill that you got on the Guardian spot. Take us through, like, what was happening there. Was it just like, I need to now go into overdrive here, or were you just trying to compose yourself and make it through the rest of the tower?
So I knew I needed to push it. I don't think I saved all that much more, maybe once or twice, but I knew I needed to push it, and I just decided to go and take a different tower. I had kind of forgotten it was statues, but
Realm with the clutch calmness block.
I know, I was gonna say.
So, Narves, I don't know if you could see, only found 3 characters, so did not do as much free checks as you did this seed, and did all of KT with just 3 characters, which is very terrifying.
Which Narves hit a roadblock at Poltergeist.
I was worried. When I saw it was Polty, I'm like, don't stop blaster me.
And Swans, Gretham... told us
24 was the final ice rod counter.
I was 2 off.
You were 2 away. So the other thing I usually ask with Chaos Seeds is you have to complete 2 of 3 objectives in order to unlock the final boss. So what is your strategy with, you open up the seed and you see 8 characters, 9 espers, 6 dragons. What is going to be your strategy for what requirements you're going to try and lean on here?
I mean, just in Chaos in general, 9 times out of 10, dragons usually look good. There's enough free ones that if it's anywhere under, even 4 is always free, 6 in this case with open world, not much slower, so there's that. And then it's open world, so espers are going to be what's likely go mode. I could always chain characters to 8. I thought as I got character after character, I wondered if I was gonna catch that, but in an open world seed, you'll get a little more espers. No, there's no logic to kind of push you along the character path the way you can, like, in a normal chaos seed. I lean to characters a lot because yes, it's seed dependent, but I've been able to really push checks in a way that I can get like 10 characters, 4 espers.
Yeah, there's much more of a path through the seed with the logic, and that is Narv's finish 1-10-13 final. So you guys, just for reference, entered into Final Kefka about 40-something seconds apart. However, your 3 characters with your overwhelming offense definitely sped through that final fight there.
I had 4 characters. I appreciate Edgar appreciated getting 150k from the Marshall fight.
Yeah, with the cat hood, that was ridiculous, making it rain. So I don't think I have any other questions. Sigil, do you have more questions for Joe here?
Not that I could think of.
All right. So Joe, you got any other final thoughts before we let you go?
Looking forward to the third of the madness. Chaos,
Yes.
you pick your madness. Draft, you pick your madness. Chaos, you roll your madness. And now with Jones, we'll see what sort of madness the objectives give. Will be lots of fun.
And we see if you could not play UL for the whole tournament.
Yep. It's still alive. The dream is alive.
Well, Joe, it's been a pleasure watching you these past 2 nights. So thank you so much for volunteering to be on Restream, and we'll see you in a couple days.
Thanks. Hope you have a good night.
You too.
You too.
And we are joined by our runner-up here, Narvs. Congratulations on your very, very fast finish. GG's to you.
Thanks. Not
GG's,
as fast as it needed to be.
Can you tell us what was going through your head at Poltergeist?
Why will he not stop casting? Why would he not stop casting stop? It just felt like he just repeated like the second time I fought him. I think he cast it like 4 times.
No, I felt that was the 3rd time you fought him. The first time was launcher. The second time was stop right away.
Oh, maybe that was the 3rd time then. Yeah. But it just felt like I could not put him down fast enough. I didn't have any DPS to handle him.
Yeah, that's always the tricky play. Were you considering, maybe doing some more free checks when you got your requirements, or did you just want to go as fast as possible into the tower there?
I wanted to go as fast as possible until I made the mistake of thinking I needed tents or sleeping bags and forgetting that I'd already bought them. Like it's one of my first shops, which is why I think you saw me go to a bunch of item shops. Right?
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions, so I'm glad you already answered that one.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, oh, I can't find any tents or sleeping bags, and then I realized when I looked at my items, I'm like, oh, wait, I already bought them. I just never used them for the whole run.
Yeah.
How did you feel about this being open world, and what was your thought process?
Don't decide, just go. Just go for fast checks, and in this case, I usually like doing dragons because you know where they are, you know where to expect them, you aren't searching all the checks. So I always do checks. I leaned at least towards the end towards dragon checks.
Yes. And our hearts you won by style points with just having 3 characters.
Yeah.
What was that?
You were, even though you were number 2 in the race room, you were number 1 in our hearts because of the 3 character minimum requirement for Kefka's Tower, right? Unfortunately, they were pretty easy characters to have. Shadow was at Colin Jin. There was Gao, I believe, at South Figaro basement, and then Terra was the Velt check. So Joe didn't really do that much different than you, other than overloading the free checks early. So what was sort of your thought process when you loaded up the seed and looked at the settings here as far as what to do? I know you mentioned, lean dragon checks, but was there anything other than that was going through your mind?
No, I was just trying to take advantage of those levels, knowing that I just have so many that I would outscale everything, that I just, fast checks is all I needed. I didn't need any grind fights. Honestly, I didn't really need any loot. I think I was naked for like the first half of the checks.
You're going to get our stream demonetized. Thanks for that.
Yeah. And I didn't even open any chests either. I was really, really hoping and disappointed none of my dragons led to a weapon. I was really hoping for something big to give Edgar, and I think that would have made a big difference. An atma weapon, a rag, Illumina, even a VK, because the equipment pool was fairly large.
Yeah.
It was like original plus 77 or something high percentage.
Yeah, very high. There was both fixed dice and atma weapons for sale in South Figaro, right? World of Balance, I think.
Yes.
And
it was.
Where the heck did Joe find that Valiant knife?
It was Kieran.
Yeah, so
At Esper Cave.
Yeah, that's what it was. So Esper Mountain was Kieran, which gave you a high tier item, or was it high tier weapon? I don't even remember what the objective
It was a high tier weapon.
Okay. Yeah, so just a bit unlucky there that, you ended up with another Esper, you went Magitech Factory for your last two Espers, right? So.
Yes. Yeah, when I usually I'm short Espers, like two like that, I don't know, I always default to Magitech because that's all they could be. I mean, they can be a dead check, but they'll never be a character.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was the right play as well. I totally agree with you. All right, so your nightmare came true. It was open world chaos. So tomorrow we've got, or not tomorrow, I'm sorry, it's Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time here on Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide will be game 4/3. It's really 4, I think.
Yes, it's really 4.
Yeah, with the Jones special. So if you win that one, then we move on to the tiebreaker game 5. So what are you sort of thinking going into the Jones special? Is that a flag set you like to play, or is it one you're not really too crazy about?
No, I do like it, but I do know that I expect the time between me and him to usually be fairly large because of the randomness of the amount of checks. I feel like a lot of times it leads to big varying times of who gets lucky, finds the right Esper, finds the right character. It's not usually as always a closer race with those because people are searching, but we'll see.
Yes.
All right, well, Sigil, you have any other questions for Narves here?
No, I just want to thank him for volunteering to be on Restream for these sets of races, and GG's again, and good luck in game 4.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the team, Schwantz and Sigil and Gretham for doing all this whole restreaming thing. I very much appreciate it.
No, this has been
You're
a lot
welcome.
of fun watching you guys.
Yes.
I'm yesterday's seed. I'm glad I didn't play. This one, it would have been interesting to play. But yesterday's seed,
Yes.
I'm glad I didn't have to play.
Same.
I actually enjoyed yesterday's seed more than this one, even though it was harder.
Oh
There was
yeah.
more stuff to do. This one I just felt like I had to go. No stopping.
Yeah, I absolutely hate jet seeds because then I
Same.
always feel like I'm never going fast enough.
Right, and I can't enjoy the journey.
So
Yeah.
But yeah, good luck tomorrow, and I keep saying that. Good luck on Thursday, and we'll catch
Thank
you
you.
later then.
All right, bye.
All right, so I also want to give a big shout out, big puffy heart to Gretham for doing the tracking tonight. The real MVP. Going back in the VOD and looking to see how many ice rods Judge Joe had in his inventory at Final Kefka. It doesn't get much better than that, Sigil.
No, it doesn't.
So thank
And
you
also-
so much, Gretham.
And also for picking up how you got the Valiant knife.
Oh yeah, that is 3,000 IQ, wrinkly brain, huge plays there. Sigil, also thanks for doing commentary for me again for the
You're welcome.
the second iteration of the third match. It's going to get confusing as to how we label this stuff on YouTube.
Yes.
But anyway, we've got a lot of action going on for you this week. We've got potentially two more multi-category tournament matches. We definitely have one on Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, which again will be the Jones special, which let's pull up the slide here. I think it's in a couple slides. Where is it? Nope, this is the bracket. That's the Chaos. There it is, the Jones special. So it's basically unlock for Kefka is 5 of 8 random objectives. And some of those objectives could be things like find Phoenix. And you're like, well, that's fun. So
or get 26 espers.
Yeah. So you kind of have to pick and choose which objectives you want to go after with the Jones special, kind of as Narves was mentioning. So it should be very fun to watch that one. And then on Friday, if necessary, right, we have Ultras League Season 8, which will be the Game 5, also at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. What else do we have going on this week?
Is it tomorrow at 10 p.m.? War of the Magi tournament?
Yeah, that'll be on one of the Speed Gaming channels, so 10 p.m. Eastern. And then also the start of the Final Fantasy Rando Summer Marathon. We have a matchup on Friday at 4:30 p.m. for a Moogle Cup doubleheader, so we'll get to see 2 races in one. And we have a couple more races this weekend for the FF1 Summer Marathon, including some bonus races that can get met with some incentives. So be sure to check out our Discord for all of the times for all of the different races that are happening for that event, which is supporting the Liam Foundation. All right, I think I've plugged all my plugs. Do we have anything else to chat about, Sigil?
Nope. Send them to someplace good.
All right, we will send you off to someplace good. Okay, nobody's actually streaming, so we're not going to send you off to someplace good. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us and enjoying the matchup for the 1v1 multi-category tournament. And we'll hope to see you again on Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Catch you later. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.